If you don't want to be recorded, cut your camera off. Cool. Um, Welcome. Please introduce yourself into the chat. Where are you in the world? How are you feeling? This is a community class, which means some teachers sit on pedestals and talk at you. I'm here with you. And we are in this together, which is the point. So some of you know me, some of you don't know me. I'm Reggie Hubbard. He, him, his are my pronouns. I'm dialing into you from my grandma's house, y'all. I have been walking my family's land barefoot. For those of you who know nothing about my story, I'm in stroke recovery. I had a stroke 3 months ago. And there's nothing more delightful in my life right now than being barefoot on the land of my ancestors, right? Like, yeah, that may sound hippie to some of y'all, but I'm trying to heal in every way I can. Okay, because what is happening on the planet right now, it's just a lot. And like for those of you who know nothing about the election protection series, this series was started in 2020 when we were going through this last time. So my teaching practice is 4 years old for the mainstream. It's been underground for a while, but I bust onto the scene 4 years ago to serve the moment of remember when we never thought the Trump era was going to end and all these sorts of things, and we were all stuck at home because my man did a terrible job of managing the pandemic, etc. There's so many people who conveniently forget that. This meditation series was founded 4 years ago to the day, almost, to give a space for people who want to not think about dumb shit to come together, right? This is a space that is designed for holding space for all that we're feeling, talking honestly and candidly about it, and more often than not talking, right? Everybody got an opinion, everybody got something to say. Sometimes the best thing to say is nothing. And how about saying nothing in community? That's powerful, y'all, because it's in silence with others that we gain clarity. It's in silence with others that we don't feel that we're alone. Yes, yes, everything is crazy right now. Everything is crazy. You're not alone in feeling that. I want to applaud each of you for showing up and being in front of your computer and not watching whatever is happening in Milwaukee. Please say a prayer for Ben Wickler, who is the chairman of the Wisconsin Democratic Party. He is a dear friend of mine. He and I shared an office space together for 3 years when we were disrupting the last Trump administration. So he's on full tilt right now because the Antichrist mothership has landed in Milwaukee. So say a prayer for Ben when we start to get into practice. And I just want to share a few thoughts before we get into practice. One, I want this to be a deep practice where you get in touch with your breath, your thoughts and emotions, and re-regulate your nervous system. That's what we're doing here. Like the whole goal of this political season for many people, whether it be the news media or certain political parties, is to scare you and to get you to think that change is never going to happen. The reason that they're doing this is because change is already happening. In many ways, it has already happened and they don't know what to do about that. So we need to sit together, celebrate the changes that we have created as a world and root in them. We also need to be honest that it is terrifying right now. The prospect, look, I'm in the deep south, so I'm gonna just be a little country for y'all for a second. The prospect of this cracker coming back to office are untenable. Yes, I said cracker and I meant it, right? Like the prospects of this cracker coming back into office are terrifying. And at the same time, do y'all really think he has done so well for himself that he's going to get more votes? I mean, like, there are just different ways that we can think about this if we pause, take a breath, and know that we're not in this by ourselves. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with this. Number two is that this ain't about right versus left, y'all. This is about right versus wrong. Where is my amen corner? This is not about right versus left. This is about right versus wrong. And for those of you, not y'all, because y'all wouldn't be with me if you thought this way, but there are many people who for those of you who are newer to me, I'm equal parts activist and equal parts Buddhist and yogic teacher, right, at the same time. So there's some people who are like, do not make politics, spiritual or political. I was like, that's the most political statement I've heard in my life. That comes from a place of privilege and ignorance. And I don't really have time for that, right? So we have to make this, the problems we face are not political, y'all. They are spiritual. If this is about right versus wrong, as opposed to right versus left, then these are spiritual problems. So we need to seek spiritual solutions. And spiritual solutions are often found in quiet and in community, not talking a lot. Amen? Amen. The last thing I'll say is that active peace is a community. We are people in the world going through this lived experience together. So look at each other, send someone a private message, right? Like create connection. That's what this is about, okay? It's not about being, no, be human, okay? It's okay to be human. So thank you all for introducing yourselves into the chat. If you haven't, and please introduce yourself into the chat where you are in the world. The next thing I'd like for you to do is introduce yourself as a meteorological or meteorological condition or astrological phenomenon. So that can be partly cloudy with a chance of a thunderstorm, or I'm a raging quasar in a supernova. So anywhere on that continuum, how you feeling? Sunny skies with a bit of clouds, low choppy sea, freaking ray of sunshine. Rumbling before the storm, oppressive heat wave. Lord Jesus, ain't that the truth? Tropical storm, tornado. Look at the varying arrays of expression. Cloudy with a chance of meatballs, a shooting star, right? Dark and stormy. Cool. Hot and sticky for sure. Gray and windy. So I want us to pause and just take in the entirety of how people are experiencing. So maybe you shrug the shoulders, you get into the neck a bit, but just shake off the day. Maybe you stand up and swing, but just shake off the day. Become present with who you are right now. What's up, Meteor? But 20 seconds of just shaking off the day and coming into how you for real feel. 10 seconds of letting something go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now come into a comfortable posture. We're going to meditate a lot in this time together. Come into a comfortable position. Maybe one hand is on the heart, one hand is on the belly, or maybe both hands are elsewhere, but just find a comfortable posture with the hands, eyes open or closed. And now that you've expressed where you are, you've expressed how you're feeling, be present with what that feels like as a sense. Because you said what the mind thought you're feeling, but how are you really feeling? And it's okay if the answer is complex. We're living in complex times. But is there fear in your heart? If so, it is welcome. Is there joy in your heart? If so, that is welcome. Is there anger? That is welcome. Confusion, hashtag WTF question mark, totally welcome. But be present with how you're feeling because that's what's true right now. We cannot take wise action if we're not honest with how we're feeling. Switch the hands on the body if you've got hands on the body. Now take a moment to just be honest with how you're feeling and settle into it. So don't run away from it. You don't have to. And wherever you are and however you're feeling, take a deep breath into how you're feeling. Exhale out nose or mouth. Let it soften, whatever it is. In through the nose, into what and how you're feeling. Exhale. Feel free to moan and groan. Like I said, it's okay. It's crazy out there. One last breath. A deep, full inhale. Exhale. Release the hands and let's have a silent sit just to settle in. And be present with how you feel. And that's the point of this sit. Don't shift anything, but fully feel what you feel on the body. You may be feeling different things, but explore them in this silent sit so that they can be seen and expressed and maybe moved along from. Silent sit starts now. Slowly open the eyes if they have closed. Bring palms together. Create friction in the palms. Create friction in the palms. Rub them together. Feel that. Then rub palms on the face. Welcome back. How did that feel, friends? How are you feeling now? Grounded, softer, more peaceful. What else are we feeling? A little more present, more integrated, calm. attentive, refreshed, connected, grateful. That was about 5 minutes. Notice how quick it took to come back to a sense of groundedness and in community, at peace, at ease. Notice these things. Simply because we stood, bore witness to how we're feeling, and didn't run from it. Because here's the wisdom in this moment, y'all. We are not going to be able to run from anything, okay? We can't run from what's happening. And I know that's a terrible thing to say, but Reggie keeps it honest with you out of love. We aren't going to be able to run from what's happening. One, there are vested interests that are seeking to destroy us psychologically, okay? Second, you don't gain strength from running from something like this. You gain strength from standing firm in community, looking at it in the face, being like, nice try, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, nice try. So I hope that in our groundedness, for those of you newer to me, I curse a little bit too. I'm trying not to curse because it's my grandma's house, and she, like grandma, she may be in Maryland, but she be hearing stuff. You know what I mean? She's connected to the ancestors, so I'm not trying to curse in her house. But notice how quickly when we stood together, looked how we feel in the face. I didn't see anyone say, "I feel worse after that." Or Reggie, why did you lead us through this hippie shit? I didn't see none of that. So that's the spirit of election protection, right? When we look something that is terrifying in the face together, look what comes together. Look what comes of that. Okay. So what I want us to do now, for those of you, if you have a writing utensil or a piece of paper or something, we're now gonna get into what are we afraid of? We're gonna name it, right? Because you can't, and not that I could condone killing dragons, but you can't kill the dragon if you don't name it. You at least got to face. You can't face the dragon until you name it either. So I want us to spend the next couple of minutes being honest with yourself about what are you afraid of in life in this political moment. Be very honest with yourself, because if you don't express your fear, it will grip you and it will never let you go. Gene, thanks for the admonition. I will always keep it real. For sure. Like that, especially after this stroke child, y'all ain't seen real yet. I'm just coming out of the cocoon. So what are you afraid of? And be very honest. And if this exercise brings things up and you need to get up and walk around, please do. If you need to scream, be like, Reggie, why are you forcing me to face this? Totally dig it. And do it anyway. Because there are 44 other people here with you at least. I grew up in the Baptist church, y'all, and there's a scripture that comes to mind that says, bear one another's burdens in love. So expressing and working through our fears in community is a spiritual act. About 3 more minutes. What are you afraid of? And all things are welcome. I'm afraid my rent's going to get higher, or I'm afraid of the existential threat that, sure, like anything on that continuum. I'm afraid that I can't afford milk. Great. Dig it. All of this is welcome. About 90 more seconds. Amy, for real though. Yeah, and if you want to start putting them in the chat, or if some of you want to give voice to them, we'll hold space for that too. But at least put them in the chat. Amy, the one thing I will say, because Amy said in the chat, I'm afraid of sheer unpredictability and chaos. Um, this stroke that I just had, whew, I used to be fearful of unpredictability, and then the next thing I know, I had a short circuit in my brain, right? And so that is a legitimate fear, and I'm here to tell you it gets easier. Like, you just control what you can control. You're honest with how you're feeling. Like, what I'm doing now in this meditation exercise is part of what I did in my stroke recovery. Like, what am I afraid of? I'm afraid of never walking again. Like, I'm afraid, blah, 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 blah. Right? So, giving voice to those fears made them real. And when they're real, I could deal with them. I could deal with them. You know what I mean? So, hey Felipe, what's up, homie? Scared of if I'm not
What
doing
up,
the right.
Reggie?
Good to see you, brother. Love you, homie. Like, yeah, honoring the ancestors for sure. I totally understand that, right? Like, it's a it's a heavy weight to bear, you know. Um, but the one thing I know from my ancestor practice is I may make a mistake, but I'm gonna just try and hope that y'all forgive me if I make a mistake. Right? Right? I'm gonna just do my level best from a compassionate spirit and all of my humanity. And if it's great, y'all will bless it. If it's not great, y'all gonna teach me something. That's what's worked for me. Fear of the planet and all animals, destruction of our precious earth, for sure. Afraid of harm and difficulties will have in the your children will have in the future. Afraid of the harm to vulnerable people. Say that again, Deb. Civil War, Project 2025. Fear of losing my autonomy and freedoms, fear of other losing their freedoms, fear of not being able to have real conversations from the heart with close family. Exactly. And I love that y'all are commenting on this too. This is what this is about. Afraid that no matter what I do or say, it will never be enough to make a meaningful difference. We're gonna dive into that one, Jessica. I appreciate that because that's right. That's right in my wheelhouse. Um, Afraid of my stepdaughter will have fewer rights than me. I won't move past a sense of mourning from personal losses for sure. Violence, losing accessible healthcare. Sarah, as a stroke survivor in acute recovery, I hear you. Like, in the past 3 months, it has gone. Healthcare has gone from, oh, it's nice to have, to essential, like that. And these people talking about taking it away. Oh, you kidding me? Oh, those is, as we say where I'm from in Maryland, those is fighting words. Like, come after this healthcare if you want to. Loss of our constitution. Of people being a facade, right? So look at the rich shares here, and I'm going to go back to the comment about what you're saying or doing not being enough. The only way what you can say or do not being enough is if you do nothing, right? You have to trust, and what I mean by that is that to some extent, because of the limitations of us being human, there's never enough. However, if the 45 of us on this call, let's just say 50 because I see some two people in some screens, if the 50 of us in this call do our little bit of something, y'all remember in mathematics the Fibonacci sequence where it's like one, two, and then it's like a million, just like that. Each of us doing our little bit to the best that we're able to matters. And when you report to someone else, hey, I did this, it inspires them. And then they may do a little bit more. And then they may do a little bit more. Denise is on the call, and she and I have done a ton of work together in grassroots activism. 6 years ago, I came up with a crazy idea. Hey, I want to offer yoga and meditation to Netroots Nation because I want to help heal political activists. And all I wanted to do was like help a couple people and get my 200-hour certification. That one little gesture of trying to help my community has launched my entire teaching practice. Right? So that one little thing that I didn't think was anything or enough has impacted thousands of people. I give a keynote address there, and I'll read y'all some of it towards the end on the outro. I've gone from offering that class, and I was under such duress at work they wouldn't let me speak. Right? They wouldn't give me a microphone because I'm clearly terrible with words and can't inspire anybody. But anyway, like that one class led to my speaking career. I'm now on the board of Netroots, whatever, you know what I mean? So me doing my little thing 6 years ago in a small room in New Orleans, and it was kind of a foolish errand to think that people would practice yoga at 7 in the morning when the conference is in New Orleans. Like, who's gonna come to your shit, Reggie? We're in New Orleans, like, give me a break. But this year, I taught one class and gave a keynote, and someone came up to me and they were just like, "Well, what are we gonna do? Because no one's gonna teach the Friday class or Friday." And I was like, "I really don't know. I suggest that you like pray and meditate on your own." I was being kind of cheeky with them because they're a good friend of mine. But that one little thing, as that was an afterthought at one point, now that it wasn't offered as often, people were like, "But I miss it though." So doing what you can as often as you can, you just never know where it's going to go. So I would encourage you to think, rather than it's never going to be enough, is that just like it's just enough for this moment, and this is all I can do at this moment, and then tell somebody about it, and then maybe they'll be inspired. Right? Just never underestimate the impact your words or efforts may have on one other person, because that one other person may go be blessed by one other person, may go be blessed by one other person. It only matters if you impact one person, and then that's where the impact goes on. So thank you for hearing my sermon. I kind of caught the Holy Ghost on that one, but thank you for putting that out there. Now, y'all, I want you to tell me what you are hopeful for. And it's okay. So well, spend a couple minutes like seeing what comes up for you, and then we're gonna share dreams and hopes after we share fears. And Daphne, one thing I'll say about rampant racism and white supremacy, like as a black dude from the South, it's always been rampant. It just hasn't been public. Like America ain't as woke as she thinks she is, as evidenced by what we're seeing in the world right now. Daphne, I agree with that. It is good that it's public because it's in your face. So what
But
are you?
Reggie, we've always known it was there.
Right.
Reggie, a lot of ways. Sometimes subtle.
Absolutely. So family, what are we hopeful for? Thank you, Gene. Hopeful for unity and liberation. This class is a step in that direction. What are we hopeful for, loved ones? Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Felipe. Yeah, the kids are on one. I'm very hopeful for student activism as well. I'm so glad they think I'm cool. If the kids think you're cool, then you're cool. If people your age think you're cool, then you're probably not. Repudiation of hatred, sustainable future, love will rise. I believe that. Angela, like people will choose community when we show it to them. We have been conditioned to be isolated from one another. And so, and you know, this is key to my work, like reimagining what community looks like. So many people are like, I'm sorry, I can't make your meditation. I was like, I'm gonna be in Virginia. You not, I mean, this is on your computer. Like, c- community doesn't have, like, if you want to come to Virginia, it's beautiful down here, but it's also hot as hell in these hills. So you may want to stay where you're at. But this is community. So reimagining community, and all of you, when we meditated together, it transcends like the limitations that we put on ourselves, right? So hopeful for healing, hopeful that people will show out and vote. Jessica, people will only show out if we give. I say this because I do a ton of political strategy work as well. If you don't give people hope, then you can't expect they vote. You can't. Like, please, freedom for all. Anything else people want to share about what you're hopeful for? Alignment with nature, food security for sure. Empowerment, right. To heal and protect our environment, yes. Okay. Hopeful for hope itself, exactly. Exactly. Love, kindness, and peace will lead the way. When we proclaim it, Cassandra, when we proclaim it, when we stand up for it, like hope and truth just need to be expressed. Like if you just sit on hope, it ain't gonna do nothing. But if you proclaim it, hopeful for community care, hopeful for a world where all children can thrive, for sure. All right, so let's meditate on this, okay? So find that same comfortable posture. If you need to shake off things, please shake them off. Healing generational trauma, absolutely. If you need to get up and walk around, if you need to just shake, whatever, like find a way to be present with how you're feeling now. Find a way to be with the breath that is comfortable for you. So rather than me counting it off for you, allow a cadence to manifest that suits your needs. And I want you to be present with how you are feeling right now. After expressing your fears and then expressing your hopes, just be present with the sensations that are in the chest, what's happening in the mind. How is your nervous system? Again, as someone in stroke recovery, the health of your nervous system is vital. So just check in. If there is more space in the chest that you need, make it. If you want to focus with feet on the ground or seat that you're taking, focus there, but be grounded in how you feel now that we've worked through some things, right? We've talked about some things. You've shared some things that you're terrified about and that you're hopeful for. If there is a sense of lightness in your energy, focus on that. in direct defiance of the heaviness of the moment. They want you to feel heavy, confused, and defeated. Whoever they is, it's not conspiracy. Like again, this is a spiritual experience that we're having now to address a political situation. And notice if you feel light and imagine someone else on this call feeling lighter. Imagine if that happened times 1,000. Imagine if we had groups like this for the next 3 months focused on this feeling, y'all. Y'all gonna make me catch the Holy Ghost again. But this feeling of spaciousness, of hopefulness, of connection, of community, cultivating this right here, as opposed to watching some scripted racist bullshit in Milwaukee. This feeling is the catalyst for transformation. This feeling, the individual experience we're sharing collectively, is what the ancestors latched onto, and you name the freedom struggle. They were in heavy circumstances, but held a lightness in their spirit, hopeful that their dream, which was once impossible, would someday manifest. If you've ever been to Montgomery, Alabama, and know the story of the civil rights movement, it was ludicrous to think you could safely vote in Alabama in 1954. But they held quiet space in community. They talked about their fears. They talked about their hopes. They made strategies based on their hopes while acknowledging their fears. And 12 years later, the Civil Rights Act was passed. So, in this moment of seemingly perpetual negativity and darkness, think of the power of the 50 of us holding space for our hopes and dreams in this moment. And again, like I said, not watching whitewash racist pre-programmed bullshit from Milwaukee. Notice how your nervous system is thanking you for being in community with breath and focusing on your hopes and acknowledging your fears. Feel the healing and repair from your presence here. It's not incidental. Drink freely from this oasis. Again, one more silence. Sit in this meditation, focused on how you're feeling in this moment and all the work that we did to get there. Silent sit starts now. Slowly begin to move the body and the shoulders, maybe creating friction in the palms. Then place heated hands over the eyes and the face to continue to soften the face and re-regulate your nervous system. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Release hands from the face if they're there. Welcome back. How are we feeling? Regulated, calmer, open to possibility. Exactly. Like I can sleep tonight. I mean, it's real basic. Sturdy, grounded, calm, present, much lighter and more peaceful. Right. So we got a little bit more time, and I'll share a couple of things, but I want to open it up for other folks too to share what's on your heart and mind um, in this present moment. So mind is so much clearer. And what I want to share is that, y'all, we've been on the call for 44 minutes. Maybe it feels like long. I know for me it feels like an hour and a half, or like, but like notice how short this time period has been and the tremendous repair that it has given your mind, your heart, and your nervous system, right? You know what I mean? Like, again, I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I've been in the political game for quite some time and I turned 50 in 2 months. So I've seen some stuff. This industry at this time is like vultures preying at your nerves. They are picking at your consciousness and want you to be upset. Because if you are upset, you're deflated. If you're deflated, the status quo remains the same. You aren't open to dreaming and possibility. And if you don't have hope, you're not going to talk to nobody and you're not going to organize. Like I'm an organizer, right? And so my goal in each setting, whether it be political or teaching or whatever, is to create community where you're transformed and then you go out and do something. You know what I mean? So this is an oasis of nourishment so that you can have your cup so full. Maybe you're like, yo, you got to check out this dude. Or you're just like, hey, I went to this class last night. I didn't know I could feel so peaceful through a computer. This brother's on to something, like whatever. But you saved yourself the psychological abuse of watching something that you know is going to make you upset. So we gave each other the gift of peace and lightheartedness and hopefulness in 44 minutes. So you got the world in less than an hour. Damn, this boy is good. Damn, this boy is good. So, floor is open. And for those of you who anything goes really, if you're negative, I'll cut you off. I'll just be honest. um, and because we're not gonna like torture, we're not gonna take away the good feeling we have here by reverting. You can revert tomorrow, but you ain't gonna revert right now. That's with love and grace. That's not welcome in this space. So yeah, Amy, for sure. Tend to how you feel, but focus on what you want to do, not everybody else's agenda. Like that there is the core principle of democracy. You being attuned into what you need and then organizing around that. Your agenda for what you want in the world. I personally want activists to be more peaceful and spiritual people to get off their ass and do some shit. So I'm out there doing that. Right? All the big name teachers in the world, how come I'm the only one doing something tonight? Stop it. Stop it. Everyone knows, everyone and their mama's distressed right now. What the hell are y'all doing? So anyway, that's for my teacher friend conversation where I'm like, I thought we were serving suffering on the planet right now and you're quiet. I can't deal with you. Anyway, so thank you, Sarah. So how are we feeling, y'all? Either put it in the chat or raise your hand or unmute. And if you got nothing, I'll play some sound bowls and we'll ride it out in a different dimension. Thank you, E.
Hey Reggie, it's Megan. Thanks
Hey,
for opening up this space.
always.
I feel so much more like grounded and hopeful just sitting for a couple minutes and like acknowledging all the fears. So I really appreciate that. And I was just reflecting today on how the only people who've ever stopped Donald Trump are the voters. The courts haven't stopped him. The Senate hasn't stopped him. You know, the House did their job, right? But the only people that really ever stop him is us. So we just got to do our thing. We just got to do our thing. And I can trust that. So, because y'all showed me last time, right? So we can just kind of relax into that and then keep building this new world where we don't have to be worrying about this kind of stuff because we always take care of each other.
So, Megan, the beautiful thing about what you shared is like your organizer is showing, and I appreciate that. Um, it's always been about us. It's
Yes.
always been about us. They want us to think it's about them. It's not.
Mm,
It's about us. And, for those of you who don't know anything about my political work, I have been in several moments where when we started something, we looked at each other and was like, is this even possible? Like, we're kind of crazy right now. Only to do the organizing and the hard work and the prayer to have the impossible manifest. And if someone, and I know this explicitly from my black experience, on my black job, I still can't believe that idiot said that, but since I'm on my black job now, but every time someone tells you something it's impossible, you have to ask, why are they telling you that?
mm-hmm.
Is it their insecurity? Are they afraid
Mm-hmm.
of your shine? Or those sorts of things, right? They've been telling us that the world is impossible, the women's, whatever, black, all the people who want rights, it's impossible for you to have them. It ain't impossible because we did it, and then y'all rigged the system and took it, and then you trying to make us think we can't take it back? Oh, y'all are sadly mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been about us being like, okay, that's cute, but we're
Why you
gonna,
gotta say it like that?
yeah, right, right. That's cute, but we about to do something beautiful and make
Exactly.
and make y'all look ugly.
I love it. Will you mute me? Because I can't find my mute button right now.
I don't think anyone has ever asked me to mute
Thank
them.
you.
That's funny. Friends, who else cares to offer anything into the space?
I'll go. Thank you, Reggie. Sorry, I forgot how to do the raise my hand on my iPhone. This was amazing. And it just like taking the break. And it reminds me of 2022 when my Wall Street friends kept telling me about the red wave and all their models. And right now, I just want to say, excuse my language, F your models. We know what we're going to work towards. And this is unprecedented. And we have to take the power and we have to take care of ourselves and each other and do what we got to do.
Angela, when we take care of ourselves and one another, everything is possible. Everything is possible. We just have to remember that. When CNN is like breaking news, like you're just trying to break my spirit, dog. Like I'm not going for that. You know what I mean? Like the only thing that we need to break is the patriarchy and oppressive systems, right? Like we don't need breaking news. We need to break status quo. And that doesn't happen from us being, let me check that. It is okay for us to be afraid. It is not okay for us to let fear win. It is natural to be afraid. Like people have died seeking to make change. Again, like I said, I'm on my family's land barefoot. Like my grandfather fought in World War II and looked his commanding officers in the face when they tried to be racist towards him. That was punishable by death in the 40s. Like, as insubordination. You know what I mean? But like standing courageously on values in community, these systems can't handle that. They want us to forget that, but I'm alive to help us remember. Last call for shares. Otherwise, I want to play some of these sound bowls to really regulate your nervous system. And the person who said, I think I'll be able to sleep tonight, you will totally be able to sleep once I'm done this sound magic. Going once and twice. Seen. All right, y'all, we've got 6 minutes left. 5 of them are going to be me playing sound. So please adopt a comfortable position. Maybe you put in some headphones. Maybe you drop off and you've had enough of us today. We'll be back on Thursday at the end of the Republican convention to cleanse ourselves from whatever bull was put in the universe. But thank you for being here. I'm just going to play one singing bowl, these 3 singing bowls a couple times just to get a good little mellow vibe. So if you need to drop off, please do. If you want to stay, adopt a comfortable position. Focus your heart and mind on the good that we have done together. Remembering how good you felt when you voiced your fears and heard other people do the same. Remembering how good you felt when we reminded ourselves that it is up to us and the people united will never be defeated, especially when rooted in ethics, values, and spiritual principles. It's a question of when, not if. And allow the breath to be deep and full in accordance to your restoration. Remembering that they want us to be short of breath. So in defiance of what they want, those who seek to keep things the same, breathe deeply and freely and allow yourself to find softness. Sound starts now. Now from this space, of limitless possibility, of regulated nervous system, open heart, and clear mind. Offer a wish for those in distress, those who couldn't make it tonight, those who don't know that these tools are available, that these options are available. And hold space for what you might do with this clarity and this medicine that you've received. How will you share it to allow this feeling to not be a novelty, but be actually more prevalent? Let's take a deep inhale into this peace. Exhale, send it out there. Send it to somebody you know needs it. Inhale into this peace. Exhale, make it active. Inhale into this peace. Exhale through spiritual telepathy, send it on. Place both palms together and I will bow before you with gratitude for the chance to be of service, hoping this has been nurturing, medicinal, and inspirational. We're doing this again Thursday. Spread the word. And if you can make it cool, if you can't, just tell someone how light your spirit is and that there is a way that they can feel lighter without looking at the damn news. So, love you all. Be peaceful. With gratitude, I bow. Thank you.
Take care, Reggie.
Take care, homie. Yeah, Jessica, the struggle is real.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I had
And
a pulmonary embolism in 2021.
well, cheers to your healing and redemption, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, same to you. I mean, it's amazing. I don't know. It gave me an odd level of peace, which is very strange.
I'm good at
I'm
that.
afraid of a lot less now. I mean, I was more afraid for quite a while, and then I
Right,
progressed to a place where I got gradually less and less because it was just like, yeah, what our bodies are safe places to be, and the
right.
world is a better place than we often realize that it is. So
Absolutely.
much love to you, and thank you for doing this. This is meaningful.
It's my honor. Love you, Lorette.